大家好，很高兴又来到这个世界人工智能大会啊，每年都过来，每年都讲区块链，这个区块链的发展也是特别快，但是我觉得呢，就是不管怎么发展，不管怎么快，甚至怎么乱呢，最终这个行业还是要回归它的一个本质，什么本质呢？就是把这个技术的价值转化。
Hi, Sunny. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Sunny, it's great to see you. It's been quite a while since we last met in Shanghai. So let's kickstart by introducing yourself and your background and journey to VeChain.
Sure. Hello, everyone. My name is Sunny Lu, and I started VeChain roughly in 2015. Before that, I was acting as a CIO of Louis Vuitton China, and I started to know blockchain like in 2012 or 2013, and I was fascinated about this technology and started to think about do something about it. And 2 years later, I made a final decision to quit the job as a CIO, but start VeChain starting from then. And since then, VeChain has been devoting ourselves to enable blockchain technology value to transform to be, let's say, business value, to serve different enterprise level applications, to help the different enterprise, whatever the big corporations or small startups, to easily build and adopt and embrace blockchain technology and find the value out of it. So that's basically what we have been doing, and we just been doing one thing, and I think we have done pretty well.
Yeah, very interesting. Very interesting. You work at the Louis Vuitton, and they came up with the idea to launch the business for blockchain, right? So
Yes.
your background, that you work at the Louis Vuitton, does that help you come up with the idea to launch the blockchain? For example, I understand a luxury good has a lot of fake goods, right? So everybody ask about, how can we identify, how can we check the real product, genuine product?
Yeah, sure, of course. Actually, that was one of the major reasons I decided to start the blockchain company since then. I've been studying about the blockchain, following the trends everywhere for 2 years, 2 or 3 years. And I find it very interesting phenomena at that time in blockchain space. Most of the players in the crypto space are technical guys.
Right.
Very few people have, let's say, a business mindset, or they don't know how to, let's say, connect the technology to the business.
Yes.
But actually, that was the major job as a CIO. You're building the bridge between business and technology. You always find how the technology can serve the business or create the value. So I thought, that was my chance.
Yes.
I know blockchain very well, and I know how to do a CIO job. I know how enterprise think about the technology, how to use that, how to adopt that. So that's why I made a decision to start with that.
Yes.
And also in the beginning of VeChain, for sure, I use my old connections in luxury industries. I have friends all over the place, and start to connect with them. And that actually brought us, the first client, Givenchy, one of the brand in the LVMH. And we start with a very small SKU and just, start to manage like the supplier manufacturing process. But right now we cover like 100% of leather goods globally, and manage like the entire supply chain.
Yes.
So I already see that you already have a lot of international partners. And since you mentioned the solution right now, it would be really nice if you could explain the business model of a company step by step. That would really help us to understand.
Sure. Actually, if we talk about the business model of VeChain, actually, we need to talk about, let's say, we need to start with what blockchain application is. Honestly, we have been in this space for quite a while. We see some misunderstanding in this space from the markets. When people, especially those enterprise executives, when they think about, okay, I need to embrace blockchain technology because it's cutting edge, represent for the future. So I need to find a blockchain team or blockchain startup or blockchain company, whatever, right? But actually, it's not right because when we talk about the blockchain application, maybe 80% of the job is not really linked to the blockchain itself. It's really linked to the business innovation, business process change, or the new business value created because of the value or because of the feature of blockchain technology. So that's why our strategy is to collaborate with different partners. There are some big partners like DNV, a very big global TIC certification body in the world, and also like a private Waterhouse Coopers, one of the big fours, actually the biggest one. So they have quite in-depth, industry know-how. They know how to, go through the business processes with clients and do the analysis, do the consultancy, and in the end, they also could help us how to integrate the blockchain technology into the enterprise systems as well, and eventually, build up the blockchain applications. So our business model, let's say, is bring the solution to the different clients, whatever the big and small, and also collaborate with the partners. So actually, there are several different type of collaboration. Sometimes the clients will go to, let's say, our partner, like a PwC or DNV, ask for a total solution, and then we provide the technology to the partners and eventually to the clients. Or some clients will go to us, most of the enterprise users, they were like, okay, we need to find a number one in the blockchain space. So they came to VeChain, but we usually ask them like, hold on, you might need some professional service providers, whatever, like if you're talking about a certification or business authentication, you might need something from DNV, or you might need something from PwC, or even a small company, small startup as a partner. They could have a very dedicated, let's say, vertical expertise in some areas, like a Suzhou V Trust. They have been dedicated on public safety and fighting against the COVID-19, helping the governments. So our partnership actually help us to ease the process to lay down the application based on the needs of the clients. Even sometimes they don't have a clear thinking like what the application they really want. They just say, I want a blockchain. But going to some details, going to some business updates, we need a professionals.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yes.
agree. And actually, I interviewed a couple of the entrepreneurs who are the running business based on the blockchain idea, but I came to have questions yeah, blockchain by itself, it is immutable and the tamper proof and then traceable, great idea.
Mhm.
But when we applied that idea to the real world, I mean, we may have some issues and challenges to sort out, right? For example, physical good can be compromised. For example, in China, I remember that I read the news a few years ago. Baby milk formula, powder is a lot
Mhm.
of fake and forging. So
Mhm.
then is a simple idea. Why don't we apply the blockchain technology to
Mhm.
give that trust? I mean, bridge the gap. But
Mhm.
thing is that we can put the QR code, whatever, in order to trace
Mhm.
logistic process and then origin of the product. But still, some people can compromise the physical good, even
Mhm.
even without touching the QR code, whatever, right? That's
Mhm.
the real world challenge it for in many cases. Also, I remember that IBM and with a couple of global logistic company, shipping company in Germany, they came
Mhm.
up with a consortium to provide a solution based on blockchain to the for the account. International the account receivable financing, right?
Mhm.
Actually,
Mhm.
because I'm from the banking and finance, a lot of people try to manipulate and then or the duplicate the financing.
Mhm.
So they receive the based on the one single document and transaction. They
Mhm.
try to receive money from the couple bank. that kind of incident keep happening in the real world. So
Mm-hmm.
I thought it is great idea if we can sort out that issue. But
Mm-hmm.
I think that story has been in the market many years, but I haven't heard any dramatic changes uh, thanks to the blockchain technology for that kind of incident in the account receivable international trade financing. So
Mm-hmm.
can you share what are the biggest realistic challenges to
Mm-hmm.
overcome and serve the solve when we apply the blockchain technology in the real world?
Yeah, sure. Well, firstly, like I mentioned, blockchain technology is still a baby. You know, it's just growing. Let's say starting from 2009, but for the first almost 10 years, it's basically focused on how to make the technology more strong or more, let's say, compatible, or even more scalable. But right now, I would say the challenge to the entire blockchain space is about how to integrate or how to find the business value or how
Yep.
to, let's say, solve the real problem. But also, like I mentioned, blockchain cannot like acting as alone. It's not a
Yes.
Superman. It
Agree.
cannot, fly and run and
Should
solve
come
every
up with the
time.
recipe, right?
Yes, yes, and they usually need to work with other technologies,
Right.
especially like IoTs or AIs.
Yes.
Like you mentioned about like the physical goods can be tempered or can be compromised. You could use IoT to help that. I give an
Yep.
example. We have we called fragile NFC or fragile RFID could attach to the outside of the box of the goods. So when you open the books, box, the chips will be broken. So
Yep.
in order to do this kind of verification, but again, no technology can solve 100% of problem.
Agree.
But even they could increase like 5%, even 1% of efficiency or accuracy. That could give us lots of let's say improvements to solve the problem bit by bit or year by year. Also, I would say, working with other technologies is very essential but also are challenges.
Yes.
For I give an example, when we started, like in 2016, we tried to find an IoT provider to work with us because we have expertise in blockchain, but not the others, right? But honestly, at that time, no one would understand what blockchain is or willing
Yes.
to invest into this space. So you know what I did? I acquired an IoT team at that time, using maybe like almost like half my assets in the company to do that. But right now we have sensors, we have chips, multiple different chips, like hundreds of types to fit the different products, whatever the luxury goods or medical bottles or wines, lots of different use cases. And also, most of the time, you need to work with the big data. You need to work with
Yes.
AI. Because when you think about data tampering or record tampering, 99% of the chance it will happen like afterwards. So for most of the enterprise, they do business as usual. No one would start like, okay, I want to do something evil and then I start a business, right? Most of people don't do that. So they usually do like business as usual. And most of the time they have like unexpected events happen, whatever it's a human error or like something you cannot control, it just shit happens. So they were like, okay, maybe I can do something to change a little bit so I can get over with it. Okay, I can get away from that just once. And then they could
Yes.
have this kind of behavior or habits or whatever. So what blockchain is doing is like they could make the business activities record and in a daily basis. It's not like just do a once a year. For example, when you do you're in a financial sectors, right? If a listed company or public company, they need to do financial audits once a year, right? And also if you do like business audits to prove your quality of products or to prove the contribution of sustainability, something like that, you usually hire experts to do audits once a year. So the experts were flying over, do some interviews, do some sample testings, collecting the data, and write a report, say you pass or fail. That's the usual auditing phases. But with the blockchain, you could record the business activity on a daily basis and prove that happens at that time. And then from the big data point of view, you can analyze, you can find the problem very easily. You can save lots of costs, from those auditing companies, from those certification bodies. They don't need to send over the experts everywhere to the client side. They can just look at the data. Even the AI will look at the data, and the expert just, do some, just watch the warnings or notifications, and then they can look into deeper if something not right, that kind of thing. So you could save, like I would say, more than 90% of the cost of this. I believe that's also the reason why we have two shareholders, DNV and the PwC. They're representing exactly the industry I'm talking about.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Shall I ask the next question? So what's the biggest challenge for you scaling your business? Is it the talents or money or sales or marketing? Anything you feel like you lack right now?
Well, I would say the biggest challenge is always like, let's say, most of the startups. When you try to create a startup or you are doing a startup, three things as a CEO, you keep the three things in mind all the time. The thing, like the strategy or the executions, what kind of thing you're going to do, what kind of products you wanted to push to the market, and then the people, because you need a team. You cannot acting alone. You need the people to do that, and especially in the faster growing industry like a crypto or like a blockchain, usually the business will grow faster than your people. Then you find a gap, right? And you need to either make sure your team is growing at the same speed, or you find the better people always. And then third is the money. I always say the least you need to concern is about money, but still the resource. I think it's more than just about the money, but also the resource, the business connections, the government relationships, the PRs, marketings, always linked to the resources, could help you to execute that. But besides the three things, very challenging for sure. I think the biggest challenge to blockchain, not only to VeChain itself, but also to, let's say, the entire blockchain space, is still the adoptions, like how to solve the real problem with the technology features, other than just try to make some quick cash. That's actually quite common in the past few years. And, try to, let's say, resist this kind of temptation is very challenging. But so far, we have been doing quite well. And we have been, insist on how to transform the technology value to business value, how to continue to build and deliver. It's very challenging.
Yes, I like your answer. Yeah, most popular answer is money. In fact, fundraising, which is very very tough, right? But based on my
honestly,
background,
out of all of the challenges, I would say making money maybe the easiest thing.
Yes. If you do the things right, right business model with right team, money will chase you, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. If you chase money, it's very difficult to catch.
Yes.
Yeah, but understanding your background, you work in the brand company, brand owner, right? And then now you're providing services, right, to help with who has a brand and business model or whatever, right? So very different, side. So my subsequent question is that, have you thought about that? Launching a blockchain business model by yourself instead of providing services, helping the blockchain-based business model?
Well, I think we're doing the both. We're doing the both. Firstly, VeChain has quite a well-known reputation in the entire world. In the crypto and the blockchain space, and even out of blockchain space. I give an example. Recently, we just closed very big client in China, and I know CEO a little bit, but not very well. Maybe a couple of lunches. But when his team to bring up the solution and name up the VeChain, and then he say, "Oh, I know this. It's from Sunny."
Okay.
So I think one thing I learned from the experience in Louis Vuitton is branding is also very important.
Right.
You need to show to the public. You need to show to the people, especially for something new like a blockchain. People, and also very complicated. People will find it's very difficult to understand or to, at least not the first gallons or first catch, right? So you got to have a well-known reputation and branding, and people could trust you and trust your expertise and trust your professionalism, so they could, count on you to do, to help them to do the blockchain applications. So I think we protect that pretty well. We never brag anything out. We just, make sure even something, let's say some of the people from blockchain community, they were sort of like, "Oh, you guys are too quiet. You guys are like no marketing," something like that. But actually it's just normal thing, normal marketing. And for most of the enterprise, building up application with the new technologies, especially with new technology, it's going to take time. But in the blockchain space, they always wish, something could happen in one day or one night. It's unrealistic. Either scam
people
or
agree. People are selling something too high level, right? Too fancy, right?
Yeah. So I would say like we like to very solid foundation. We want to do step by step because we hold long-term vision. I believe blockchain technology can really shape the world like internet did like 40, 50 years ago. So I'm looking for at least like a 20 or 25 years career ahead. It's not like a 3 years, I'm going to retire, that kind of a thing. So,
okay. So what is on top of your mind for the next step?
Well, actually, it's pretty much the same since the beginning. Our vision is to make a VeChain blockchain platform as the most used platform or creating most business value blockchain platform. So we never changed that. We for sure the strategy or the executions, we could have a different targets from time by time. Right now, we're focused on polish our tools and services, along with the platform itself, to make to enable different builders, whatever big enterprise, small startups, can build blockchain applications very easily, super easily, like in 2 weeks or 1 week, with a very little entry investment, but grow with our clients, so grow with our users, that kind of way.
Yes. It feels like you're providing great solution to the market because many people who are running the business based on blockchain talk about they're selling on something very high level, right? About the fancy things about the blockchain. But as you mentioned, is a blockchain as a new technology. It is very powerful, but still has a lot of small detail issues and problem on the ground, right? So you're trying to putting together combine the solution to help with the business based on blockchain. That's a great idea. Yeah.
Sunny, I have a question. This is very specific. Should I buy VeChain? And how do you see the market price right now? It's like
you should
about
buy.
$1.
You should buy.
Yeah. No. Well, honestly, I never give anyone, even including my mom or my dad before, I never give them the suggestion or financial advice about that. But what I can tell you is like 90% of my assets are still in VeChain for sure, because I'm doing it.
Thank you so much for taking time to introduce the VeChain, and then it feels like you're providing great solution to the market.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.